Well, howdy everybody. Jed Scott here with Scott Speech Up, and we're joined with Dad and his 30-year-long project. And for anybody who's watched the channel for any length of time, they know about this old 49 GMC 5 window that Dad has had, and it's a project that we started to work on years and years ago. We drug this thing off the fence row. Where it sat at the family farm for how long?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, 20 years, 15 years, don't know.
I bought it in like 86.
Yeah, Dad bought it in 1986 and still had the original 6 in it. And there's a whole story with that deal. I'll let Dad tell that maybe a little bit later, but you'll see that it's no longer quite stock. And it's a project. It's kind of it's kind of like 3/4. We'd call it probably about 20% done. It's done just enough to where technically it's drivable, but it has no brakes and has no real way to shift the shifter. Or, wait, it does have steering. We do have steering. And it does have a drive shaft. So this thing could technically move, but it has 0 brakes, and I think the cab is mounted now, but the bed is definitely not, if you can't tell. But the truck's in actually pretty decent shape. We need like fenders. There's little things it needs. But Dad built the tilt front end for it years and years ago. I did some of the worst weld jobs in the world trying to learn, but
It's still together.
it's still together, yeah. And Dad's homemade hinge setup that has been redone a handful of times. And the power plant is a 425 Buick Nailhead, which is an engine we cut our teeth on with a 62 Buick LeSabre years and years ago. The very first like classic car that we ever had that had a stuck engine that we, well, got freed up and running, and we took that car to a lot of car shows, and we kind of became Nailhead people with that 401 2-barrel motor. And we've always kind of had a Nailhead somewhere laying about. I've got my 53 322 race motor, and in Dad's GMC here we have this 425. And there's a long story on like the offie valve covers. We got those in a deal from another 401 we bought just for parts because it was blown up, and now it's a coffee table that we've had at the old house, and now it's on the back porch. But yeah, we've always kind of had Nailheads, and when it came time to put this thing together, Dad originally had a 350 Olds Rocket. He wanted to be different. He didn't want a small block Chevy like every person does. I mean, like every single one. There's nothing wrong with small block Chevy. It's easy, it's cheap, it's blah blah blah. But that's the problem we got, is we don't want to be like everybody else. We want to be different. And when you pop the hood, it's something old school and unique. The original hot rodding engine, to me at least. I mean, besides flatheads and stuff, and it's got a unique profile. It's cool. You notice it's got tri-wide headers on it, stuff that we've sourced over the years. It's got a 830 annular poly on there off of the jet boat, actually. And it's leaking profusely. It needs to be rebuilt. It needed to be rebuilt like 4 years ago. And it's just never come off. And unfortunately, this old truck has just kind of always been on the way back burner because, well, the main thing that stalled us out was actually the daggone frame. We got a little bow in the back, a little bend. And
I kind of wanted to just blow it apart and get a different frame and put it all back together.
And I know we got enough viewers who still watch the channel who ask about this thing. I figured, well, Dad wanted to come out here and get it running on today, 4th of July, Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. Greatest damn country in the whole world. Best damn place to live. Be alive. And it's thankfully we live in a place like the United States where we can have all sorts of funky hot rods and stuff. So God bless America, God bless our hot rods. And Dad, what do you say about getting this old girl running one more time for our viewers?
See what it does.
Let's see what happens.
Atomic batteries to power and turbines peas.
Idling just a little bit high, but
I screwed that's as low as it goes. We'll have to adjust the mixture screw.
but she's also leaking pretty bad. But sounds good. The little wire here is the throttle from the first time I drove this thing. Yeah, she's a little apart.
Got a 76 Nova front subframe suspension. 76 Nova rear end for now.
No, we haven't gotten rid of it. It's still here, and it still runs, and technically it still wants to move. We just got to make it to where it, stops and stuff someday.
Yeah, I started it up and I forgot I left it in reverse when we pushed it back in there. So
Yeah, that'd be bad.
It was trying to go backwards on me. I got it in this park now.
That's good. That visor still looks good on there.
That does. That fits it on.
That sounds good. I don't know if we caught any of the revving up on the old filming camera. That sounded good. But it is good to hear this old thing running again. She's running just a tad bit on the warm side. What was it, 220?
Yeah, I was running 210 for the longest time and I ringed on it a little bit.
Of course it is. The sun's coming out and the humidity's coming out and it's getting hot today. So it's a tiny radiator. It's kind of impressive that little thing ever did any kind of job for that engine anyways. And that electric fan, who knows? This is just one of those projects where it got started, stopped, started, stopped, started, stopped, then stalled out big time once. Well, I got my charger to build, you got your charger to build, and well, this thing just kind of got pushed back so far that it was just far enough along that it didn't take much to get satisfaction by firing it up, but that's the problem, is that's about as good as it ever got, really. And then
it's a GM.
it is true. It's the black sheep of the whole herd, but it's the longest one of the herd. That's why it's still here and not gone.
Have brand new tires. I'll end up having to put new tires on it again. Then
True.
Never hit the pavement.
Well, you gave the rear tires to Michael,
Yeah, I gave them to Michael because they were getting dry rotted too.
and then they exploded.
You bought them wheels for it and there it's it.
Well, you didn't have to pay brand new prices for those wheels, at least.
Nice wheels.
They are nice wheels. Yeah, the Bonneville Salt Flat, I think those are the real American racing wheels. I don't know if they still got those or not, but they're freaking nice. This thing's going to need a frame at some point. Like we mentioned, it's got a little bow in the back, and we've tried to straighten it out with our redneck ways, and
Yeah, it's about 1.5 inches out square.
yeah.
I don't want to go dog tracking down the highway.
No. And Dad always wanted to make this thing wall-to-wall rubber, and we do have a narrow 9-inch that we picked up really dirt cheap for it someday, and it would look pretty neat with way too much rubber in the back for, well, Nailheads make a lot of torque, so it probably would. And this actually has the switch pitch transmission in it, the famous Nailhead switch pitch transmission, which, if nobody knows, it's basically like having a 6-speed. Basically, it changes the pitch on the torque converter electronically, or there's something in there, I can't explain it. It's really fascinating. Literally, the torque converter changes its pitch, and you got like 3 low gears and 3 high gears.
It was for getting them big old heavy cars off the starting line, away from the stoplight.
Yeah.
And then it would change the pitch to give you better torque converter-ish stuff.
It's all automatic transmission voodoo, basically. The best way to put it is somehow the GM Buick people were like, hey, can we make an automatic transmission any more magical and whimsical and just make less sense? And it's like, I have a great idea. And then the switch pitch was born, and then nobody else ever even tried it. They were just like...
What year was that? Like 60-something, right?
Yeah, well, this engine, let's see, Nailhead were basically gone by 65, 66. And then they were replaced with the regular conventional Buick engine, the regular overhead valve V8, which is technically better, it's more efficient, but it's nowhere near as cool as that thing, and it does not make, I don't know. Like the GS Stage 1, I know everybody's going to go straight to that Buick engine, say it's the best. It's right there.
Yeah. TV Tommy Ivo, which one's that?
That's true. He ran Nailheads in all of his different dragsters, besides the Hemi-powered ones, but he always had Nailheads.
Yeah, 4 of them in that one.
Yeah, the Showboat, that was badass. So yeah, Nailheads. One big reasons why we're huge fans of them. I mean, if you're going to pick an old school hot rodding engine, I mean, of course we love Gen 1 Hemis. I mean, we've done several on the channel, but as far as old school hot rodding engines, that's the one for us, is Nailheads right there. So there's my little Nailhead love session right there, just to get that out, because I still have my 322. I refuse to ever sell that engine, and even if this truck ever, like anything ever happened to it, that engine and that transmission or something we'll keep.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is going to be a project someday, Dad. But we just got so much other crap. But it's good to hear it run again. I mean, every once in a while you got to come out here and just light a fire on it.
You don't want them to get stuck.
No.
You got to give them a little love every once in a while.
It's a good thing it still fires up.
I don't think I've started it since before we moved.
No, I don't think we even started it at the old house before we moved.
We just dug it up on the trailer and brought it over here.
So it's been at least 2 years. Because we've been at this place for 2 years now.
I figured I would have had filed points or something. Heck, it fired up.
Yeah, and it's still points ignition. I mean, that's basically when we rig up all these things to run on the simple side, everything's got points. It's as simple as can be, as minimal electronics. So yeah, that's a big win for points. I mean, this thing's sitting out exposed. There's nothing covering the distributor at all. I mean, everything's just open back there. So pretty impressive in my book, and this is really just for all the viewers who have always asked about this truck. You know, it's still here. We didn't get rid of it. It's just in the back, waiting its turn, just like every other project. Everything's got a place.
It's out of the sun now.
That is true. We have this nice lean-to. Well, the front end's kind of out, but it's okay. Oh, like I said, everything's got a use. Have to cut this stuff out here soon.
Is this 4-pan good now?
Well, that's a topic for another. That's for a whole different discussion, Dad. Not for this video.
Okay.
But I want to thank you guys for coming along, hearing us ramble on about the 49 GMC truck one more time, because I'm sure there will be another time. You guys keep asking about it. We'll share off more with it. Dad's got some cool stories that I don't think he's ever told about this truck. So, you guys are interested, let us know down in the comments below. That way we know what we need to do some filming on and stuff. So, as always, guys, take care, and as always,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July to everybody, and don't blow off any of your digits. Of course, by the time they see this, that's going to date this video horribly. But anyways, guys, gals, thank you.
Bye-bye.